Hi, this is Mark and welcome back. What we're going to do right now is just take a look at our testing results one more time. And let me just remind you what we're dealing with here. This page that we're running this test on was for a webinar that I ran as much specifically to make this video as I did for the purpose of getting people registered for a webinar. And the webinar is over, and so we are no longer getting new traffic to this web page. The traffic that was coming here was from my own emails, and as a result, the people who came to the page were very likely to opt in because they already knew me. It's very warm traffic, and so as a result, we have some very high conversion rates here. We have between the two testing pages a 64.5% conversion rate, which is very, very high for a squeeze page. Of course, there are some instances when you can get squeeze pages to convert that high, some may perhaps even higher. Generally speaking, though, you're going to be dealing with squeeze pages that convert in the 20s and 30s, sometimes as low as 10s or 15s if you have never optimized them before. And hopefully, like I said, as high as 50s and 60s if you do a lot of testing and can really zero in on your traffic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the report. Actually, before I do that, let me just point out we have 233 conversions out of 361 visitors. Let's go to the next page here. All right, so what you can see here is that we have the original page, which is this blue line here, and it's had a consistently higher conversion rate than the orange line here, which is the attitude page, which we saw in the last video. And what you can see also here is that for the last couple of days we have not had any new traffic, and that's why these lines are now parallel and horizontal, because there's no new traffic coming to these pages. But what we can see is that the original page is consistently doing better than the attitude page. Let me point one other thing out. This is not the zero line down here. Does not mean a zero conversion rate. If you look over here, it's 60.8%, and this top line is 89.3%. So don't let the graph mislead you. Now let's scroll down a little bit, and you can see that for the original page we had 125 out of 184 people opting in, and for the attitude page we had 108 over 177. Now, why did this one perform, the original page perform better than the attitude page? Well, it could be because most of the people are more conservative. People who came to the page and didn't really appreciate the sucks wording in the headline. They didn't appreciate the attitude. It could be that the emails that I sent were really not very much filled with attitude. It could be a lot of different reasons. We will be working on that later. But really what I'm learning here now is that being more businesslike and more to the point and a little less emotional might be working a little bit better with this particular crowd who are trying to get down to business and learn a bit about how to make their own business perform better. So now, question: are we confident that this original page is actually better than the attitude page? Well, according to Google, they say no high confidence winner found just yet. But I want to tell you just a little bit about how you can make your own determination about whether you are confident in this test. Now, first off, we're going to end the test, like I said, because there's no more traffic coming to the page. If this were you and it were your page and you were not sending traffic to this page anymore, you would also want to end the test. Well, what would you learn from it? Would you rely on this particular test? Well, we're pretty darn close to being sure, and let me tell you how we know that. This number down here, 8.47%, this is the column called chance to beat original. What Google is telling you is that there's still an 8.5% chance that if we had a whole lot of page views, maybe a million, that the original page would, actually 8.5% chance that the attitude page might overcome its deficit and beat the original. Well, that's pretty darn low, right? 8.5 times out of 100 times. It's a really low percentage. Now, what we like to do is we want to wait until there is less than a 5% chance out of 100, less than a 5% chance of the loser beating the winner. what that means, if you flip that around, what that means is that we are 95% confident, or if we had a 5% number here, we would be 95% confident that our new page, or that our winning page would beat the test page or the losing page. Let me say that again. Ideally, we would want to wait until there was as low as a 5% chance that the loser would beat the winner. What that really means is that we are 95% sure that the winner is beating the loser and will continue to beat the loser forever. Now, practically speaking, what that means is if we were to stop the test now with an 8.5% chance of this losing page winning, 91 and a half times out of 100, we're gonna be right. We're gonna be right, more than 90 times out of 100, or more than 9 times out of 10. And you know what? That's pretty good for me. I'd rather be up in the 95%, right, in the 19 times out of 20 area, but I'll take this. I'll take this for a number of reasons. Because number one, as I said, the test is over, and number two, if I can do a whole lot of tests and not have to wait until I have a 95, 96, 97% confidence, then I'm going to get a whole lot more tests in. And if I can get more tests in over time, I'm really going to be doing better. Now, if this number were down about 60% or 70% or 80%, I would be far less confident. But once it gets over 90%, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Once it gets over 95%, I'm feeling very, very good about it. And I can move forward with confidence. So remember, this number is the inverse of the ones I'm just talking about here. This 8 and roughly 8.5% means that I am 91.5% sure that the winning page is in fact going to be the winning page. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So that's all I wanted to show you today, and we will see you in the next video.